Okay. Hello, if you're watching the VOD. No one's here yet. I'm just messing with the settings. Want live chat, not top chat. I want to see all the messages. All right. That is done. Here we go. I know I normally go live on Saturdays, but it is Easter weekend and I've got family obligations. So we're doing it on a Friday night instead. How y'all been this week? There's no one here yet still. Someday. 3. Mostly doing this so I can get out of the TikTok death scrolling. Doom scrolling. I don't know. I was planning on going live way earlier, but then got sucked into my phone and it's just been such a long day. Couldn't get out of it. So we had to go live to get out of it. Unless you want a live stream of me just sitting there doom scrolling on TikTok and commenting about how I'm laughing so hard, but I'm just sitting there like, okay. 2 minutes and not even one person yet. Just gonna sit and talk to myself, I guess. Though I don't need to go live to do that. I already do that. Okay. First round done. Oh, yay, a person. Hello. Hope you are having a lovely Friday night. Oh, more people. Hello, hello. Welcome to the live. Right, remember, friends, we're putting our scissors down. Oh, thank you for subscribing. That makes me happy. Welcome to the live. I am crocheting some granny squares. Right now I am weaving in an end, and then I'm going to go on to the next round if it'll go in. Wow, my skin is so dry today. Oh my goodness. And there's the Nightbot. Thank you, Nightbot. Right, we're going on color number 2 and static electricity. This was my nemesis last week, on last week's live. I kept sticking to myself. Very frustrating. What's up? Nothing much. Just crocheting. Had a long week, so I'm glad to be sitting here in my chair without worrying about anything. All right. Static. Just gonna weave in this end here before I continue. How am I doing? I'm doing okay. Now this week put me through the ringer, but I'm doing better now that it's Friday. Yeah. All right, ends are attached. Let's go. And hope the static electricity doesn't make me go completely insane like it did last week when I was live. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe if you're interested. Good. Give me a nice dopamine rush. Here we go. Thank you for liking the live. If I'm leaning too much to one side, yell at me. I keep doing that. I'm tired of getting yelled at by physical therapists. So how was everybody else's week? And we are done with the second round. Hello from Pennsylvania. How's the weather in Brazil right now? Okay, remember, put the scissors down where they're supposed to go. Let's even this end. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I've been crocheting for many years, so I go fast. Hello. I'm just going to weave this end in here, and then we will attach the next color, which is going to be goldenrod. Not too hot or cold. That's nice. We've gone through all 4 seasons here in Pennsylvania just today. Cat. I have 3 cats. And they were very expensive babies this week. I had to take my silver tabby Rocky to the emergency vet Monday night because he was acting strangely. And it's the video. I'm sorry, I don't speak Spanish. No, I am ambidextrous. The video just makes it look like I'm crocheting with my left hand, but I can use both. Though I only ever really crochet with my right hand. Okay, off on the third round. I have so many granny squares I need to make. I am making a giant king-sized granny square blanket for my brother as a wedding present, and we're officially less than 6 months out from the wedding, and I have been slacking. Yeah, I don't speak Portuguese either. I speak English and German. German is my second language, but I sound like a 5-year-old when I try to speak German. So, yeah. Yup, it's also his birthday today. I already called him. I was like, happy birthday, nerd. You not indigenous? No, I'm not indigenous. I'm very white. Very, very, very. Okay, there we go. Now we're gonna move on to the last round if I can ever get a hold of this tail and weave it in. Fingers have been super shaky this week. Barely done any crocheting this week. Which is ridiculous because I crochet so much all the time. It's just this week has. Go. Right. 3 rounds done. Go and move on to the last one. Thank you. It is a 6mm prim hook. I don't usually use these ones, but this is the one that lives with all the yarn that I'm using for this blanket. I usually use Clover Amour, but I got a bunch of these prim hooks last year because why not? Never have too many crochet hooks, especially since this chair keeps eating them. Like one day I'm gonna take this chair apart and I'm gonna have like 30 crochet hooks fall out. Hi Kelly, I am good. Glad now that it's Friday. Been a really long week. Really rough week, but it's over now. So, huzzah. It's going. That's what it's going good. I was kind of bad this week. I didn't get to do much crocheting done. I had to take my cat Rocky to the emergency vet on Monday and he's fine. My wallet is not fine, but he's fine and that's what's important. He was acting like he had thrown a blood clot, but it turned out he just had really bad gas. So I paid $700 at the emergency vet to be told he just has gas and he's in perfect health otherwise. Because he's a jerk, but love him. Oh, I'm sorry to hear about your bird. Yeah. He had me scared when I got home from work, but he's okay. He got lots of compliments at the vet because this is the his regular vet. Our regular vet was closed. But we do have a 24-hour emergency veterinary hospital in my town. And I've taken all my cats there in times of emergencies when they need to be seen now, and they actually saw him when he was a little itty bitty 12-week-old kitten. My parents found him and his litter mate in a barn and went to the emergency vet with them. Oh, I'm sorry to hear there's no aviary vets. But they brought him to the emergency vet when he was a little itty bitty 12-week-old kitten with Zuzu, and we're like, hey, we want to take these kittens home. Can you please make sure they aren't gonna like drop dead of anything before we bring them home? And then we had to bring Rocky there again when he was a little older. He was 16 weeks because of the same reason I had to rush him in. On Monday, he was acting strange. He threw up what looked like blood. We took him to the emergency vet at 6 o'clock in the morning, and they said, yeah, they did a full workup, and they were like, oh, yeah, he was constipated. And that was $1,000 because he was a kitten. So they remembered him when I brought him in on Monday. And they were very excited to get to see him. It's expensive, but the first time that was $1,000, they ended up refunding me about half of it because it turned out he was perfectly healthy. He was just constipated, so they gave me a good refund. And then Monday they had to take him for x-rays and blood work, and they gave him some medicine to try and help move the gas along this time around. But this man this cat, he's a sucker for attention. So they were giving him subcutaneous fluids in his back, and he decided as the bag was draining with the fluids that he wanted belly rubs. So he just flopped over for belly rubs and sprayed saline all over himself. So they brought him out to me, and I was like, what did you do to my baby? Like, he wanted belly rubs when we were trying to push fluids, and the fluids sprayed everywhere. Yeah, he loves people, but Zuzu and Guinness won't let him out if I have people over. Zuzu and Guinness will not let him come out and interact. They're cowards. Alright, let's do another one of those squares since I just finished that. And use up this tiny bit. Wait, no, I want to do a magic circle. Not a slip knot. So, but yeah, that was my Monday night. And then I finally got home with him around midnight, turned around and had to wake up at 5 a.m. in the morning to go to work. I'm hoping he stays healthy too. They gave him a full workup because I was just an absolute mess, and when they couldn't find anything wrong on the first physical examination, I was still a crying, screaming mess. So they offered to do blood work and take x-rays just to be sure, and that's when they found out, oh yeah, he just has a lot of gas. So we were there for a long time because he wasn't having any problems, so he wasn't triaged very high. So he got to sit and chill in the back and eat snacks the whole time. I was out there crying, and then finally we got home around midnight. I let him out. Zuzu and Guinness were happy. And then I had to wake up at 5:30 and go to work in the morning because I needed to replenish the money I spent. But they said he's in perfect health and he was a perfect gentleman in the back. Kept wanting belly rubs from all the vet techs. Yeah, it's really hard. Like, if you could talk, it'd be great. But if he could talk, I don't think I would like that, because I know exactly he'd be constantly going, Mom, 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 I want more snacks, Mom, Mom. And he'd be beefing with the woodpecker that lives outside. It's the same bird year after year since he was a kitten that has been harassing him in the window over there. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. It's hard. Are they bonded? So I know my three, they're all bonded very strongly together. When I was trying to get Rocky and the cat carrier, Zuzu and Guinness were trying to stop me. They were freaking out. I almost shoved them in there with him and just brought all three of them. Because that's usually what we have to do when we take them to the vet for the regular checkups. Only if only one of them has an appointment, we have to bring all three at the same time. Because Guinness will completely lose his mind. I got home at midnight and he was standing by the door panting. Aw, your poor birdie. I'm sorry to hear that. How old is she? 2.5 years? Oh. Four. Aw. The boy is 3. Ah. Yeah, Rocky and Zuzu have their 5th birthday in August. Hold on, sorry, my mom's calling. Hi, okay, I'm live right now. Bye. See you in a bit. Sorry guys, that was my mom. Ah. October. Ooh, that's a good month for birthdays. Guinness's birthday is also in August. All three of them have August birthdays. Oh, thank you, Vera. It's very kind. Thanks for chatting for a while. October is like a good birth month. Halloween, all that fun stuff. 10 August. Wow. It's exciting. Double digits. I bet she's excited. I remember being so excited for my 10th birthday. And that was a long time ago. Going abroad for the summer holidays sounds like the life. Go on vacation for your birthday, though. That always sounds fun. December. Yeah, but who really wants to go anywhere in December? I don't. So you're in the US, the big traveling holiday you go see all your family is Thanksgiving, which is always at the end of November. I mean, a lot of people travel for Christmas too, but Thanksgiving is the big travel holiday. So by December, I'm like, I don't want to leave my house. I don't want to go anywhere. I don't want to drive more than 5 minutes anywhere. Crisscross all across Pennsylvania to see family for Thanksgiving. Y'all can come to me for Christmas. Just 6 weeks in the summer. Yeah, we got. When I was a kid, we got 3 months, but they've been changing it up, at least in my area, in recent years. We were usually done at the very beginning of June and went back mid-September. But now all the kids go back mid-August, and then they get out mid-June. But they don't. Yeah, well, nowadays it's more like mid-June to mid-August, so it's only like 2 months total. When I was a kid, 3 months off, it was fun, but we didn't get a lot of like short breaks in the middle of the school year. We got a week at Christmas and then like a couple days at March. In my area, we usually got the day before Thanksgiving, the day after Thanksgiving, and the Monday after Thanksgiving off. But the Monday after Thanksgiving, we only really got off because that was the start of hunting season back then. And everybody in my state goes hunting, so the whole state basically shuts down. I know my local school district said we're not gonna have the first day of deer season off anymore, so you better be at school the Monday after Thanksgiving. And I remember I think it was in my last year of high school when they started doing that, and I didn't go to school. I don't go hunting, but I was like, it's deer day. You don't go to school on deer day. And like 90% of kids in the school district did not go. No, we are not off for Easter. I know some schools in my area are, but the school I teach at, we don't have any Easter holiday. And I know in the US it's really highly dependent on where you are, if you get Easter off or not. I know as a kid, like we'd have Easter off for a couple years, and then we'd have a year where we didn't get Easter off. And then there was another year where we had Easter. My local school district, it changes every year. I know last year there was an uproar because they just started being off for major Jewish holidays. But the only real we get spring break, we get Christmas, we get a couple days of Thanksgiving, and then I guess so that they can keep the school year running longer, they just still have like a random Tuesday off. in the middle of the month, they'll just randomly have a day off for in-service or something. But I work at a private school and we go year-round. We get a week off at Christmas and a week off in spring, and that's it. Teacher training. Yeah, it's in service here, and at least in Pennsylvania. It's what it's officially called. I think in other states they might call it something like teacher training or Act 80. I don't know. We just call it in service. You know, here, private schools can do whatever they want here. But a lot of them will follow the local public schools just because the public schools will provide transportation to the private schools. So if the public schools are closed, generally a lot of the private schools in my area will be closed. Yup, I earn all year round at least. And I mean, I don't do very well with long breaks. Like, after about 2 weeks, I'm like, all right, I want to go back to work. So it works out. And even though we go year round at my school, we have generous paid time off. So even if school's open, I can just take a week off if I have the time for it. So it all works out. I usually take 2 weeks off in November. And that's when I'm crisscrossing the state seeing family for Thanksgiving. Holiday pay. I know, it depends where you work, what it's called. Where I am, it's just paid time off, regardless if you're sick, if you're caring for somebody, it's just paid time off. Other places will have like separate sick leave versus vacation leave. There's no real standard in the United States. There isn't even a standard here in Pennsylvania. And we're one of the weirder states. The UK has been around a lot longer than the United States, or at least the British government, UK government. And I also know that the UK could probably fit into Pennsylvania. You know, my state is huge. I drive for 4 hours and I'm in this another town that looks just like mine. And that's if traffic is good. If traffic is bad, I am close to, I'm lucky in that my school is about a mile from my house. So, like 2 kilometers away, I could walk if I wanted to, and sometimes I do if the weather's nice. It's just hard because the US is so car centric that even if you want to walk somewhere, there's just nowhere to cross the street safely. So you have to drive. but I live close. But there are some people at my school that work there that they come in, they drive for like an hour to get to work. Wintertime's always a gamble because we live in the middle of a bunch of mountains. We're in a valley, and all the surrounding towns are on the other sides of the mountains. And then my town is in the middle, but they're all smaller towns that don't have a lot. My town is like the big city for the area. So everybody's got to come up over the mountain to get into town. And it's really annoying during winter time for people that need to come into town. "30 minutes with traffic." Yeah. I hate traffic. It's hard because there wasn't so much traffic in my town when I was a kid, but the population really shot up while I was in high school. And so now there's traffic everywhere. But right, we're almost done with this square. Wow. Making good progress tonight. It is currently 8:19 in the evening. One 19 a.m. Yeah, gosh. I am completely out by 1:19. I wake up at 5:30 in the morning most days because I'm the one at school that unlocks the building in the morning. So I'm the first one there most days well before anybody else gets there. I'm there like half hour before anybody else starts arriving. And we're done with this one because I'm the one that unlocks it in the morning. Kinda, yeah. It's just because I live the closest. So, like, if there's bad weather or something, I can walk there. Like, there have been times when the weather's been so bad, I've just, like, it's been snowing out and the roads are bad, I'll just walk. So, because I live so close, I can get there faster than anybody else. Right, I made 2 regular squares. Let's make, well, first let's roll this back up. And then make a mushroom square. It's good, but it's funny because I'll be like, oh, I can't go to work today. The snow's bad. And they're like, we can see you. You're like, we can see your house from here. Get in the building. So I don't get, we don't close for weather. I don't get snow days. Yeah, we never close for weather, but I mean, it's Pennsylvania. We get some pretty horrendous blizzards and just keep going about our days. Oh yeah, ours go out in all kinds of weather too. Pennsylvania, you're pretty tough when it comes to rough weather. We don't get many huge weather events, but we do get pretty intense snowstorms in the wintertime. And the occasional tornado during the summer. Yeah, it's a double-edged sword, really. You have to be careful with that. But I know the older kids at my school, though, they love going out in the bad weather. No tornadoes at all. See, I would feel weird living in a place that doesn't get tornadoes. Just because, I don't know. I mean, the ones we get are not big, the big scary ones like you see out in Oklahoma that like wipe towns off. We get little ones that everybody goes out on their lawn and is like, oh, look at that. But it's always really kind of funny when we get the first one of the year because we have a very high immigrant population from places that don't get tornadoes. And I remember one year, 2 summers ago, two of my co-teachers at the time, both of them were from the Middle East. One was from a recent refugee from Afghanistan and a woman from Turkey, and they don't get tornadoes there. So we got a tornado warning, and they were both freaking out. Like, oh my gosh, this is the end of the world. And I was just standing there by the window like, oh, cool. And they're like, how are you so calm? And I'm like, it's Pennsylvania. The worst a tornado can do here is knock over a couple trees. We've never had a really bad one in this area. Yeah, I remember that. That big earthquake they got a while ago. I know in my... Oof, Iraq, hot. Ugh, heat. No, I don't like heat. Well, at least in Iraq, it wouldn't be humid. If I had to pick heat, I would much rather a dry heat compared to a humid. And Pennsylvania, we get humid in the summer. I am not looking forward to it. You drive abroad every year. See, that's another thing. The idea of driving to another country is just, you can do that. Because at least where I am in Pennsylvania, it takes 9 hours to get to the Canadian border. Can't go by plane, yeah. I have only flown in a plane twice in my life to go to Florida. I flew down there in 2018, and then I flew back a week later, and I don't like planes. It was no fun. Two days to get from the UK to Turkey. And you pass through all these different countries on just that drive alone. If you drive for 2 days here, 2 days straight, I think you might be able to get to Utah from here. Still the same country, even if you drive for 2 days straight. At least for my part. 11. I'm jealous. The last time I went abroad was 1997. I went to Canada with my family. And we drove. And it was 9 hours by car to get from my town to the Canadian border, and then another 3 hours to get to Toronto, which is where we were staying. Hi, Dizzy. Boo. Border crossings. I was young, so I don't I think I slept through the border crossing, but my mom and dad said it wasn't bad, but it was 1997, so all you basically had to do was like, hey, I'm coming in for a couple days. Okay, bye. And then coming back to the OS, hey, I'm coming back. Okay, bye. Yeah. I thought the UK had, like, don't you have, like, the Schengen agreement? Ugh, oh, crime against humanity. Waking up the sleeping kid. No. My brother is the international traveler of the family. He's been to like half the globe already for his job. He's already filled up his passport and mine's empty. Ooh, yeah. That can be hard. That sucks. I'm sorry to hear that. Phones and everything. Yeesh. God love you for that. Doing that every year, putting up with it. I've heard that Bulgaria, they like rip your car apart going in. Oh, so they don't even help you put everything back. Ugh. I know my brother had a hard time when he was in Finland for a layover. Last year. 400 pounds for a cigarette. Ugh, that's ridiculous. My brother, he was doing a talk and he was going to a conference that was in Latvia. And every country he had a layover and he had a hard time because they're like, why are you going to Latvia? And I'm like, well, I'm the keynote speaker at this big event. Oh, yeah, he's a baby. He only just turned 25 today. And yeah, he got picked on a lot by Border Patrol when he first started doing all his traveling for work. But especially when he was going to this trip to Latvia, like everywhere he landed, they were waiting for him until he finally got to Latvia. Like, just leaving the United States, they were like, why are you going to Latvia? And he's like, well, if you look at this pamphlet here, you'll see that I'm the main speaker at this big tech company thing. And then he landed in the UK. He was in Heathrow, passing through, and they were like, why are you going to Latvia? And he's like, again. Oh, yeah. That first solo trip, that's scary. When I went to Florida in 2018. Yep. He got picked up at Heathrow and he was pulled aside and like, why are you going to Latvia? He's like, I'm talking at a really big tech bro conference. And then he ended up in Finland and they were waiting for him there when he got off the plane and they're like, why are you going to Latvia? And he's like, well, if you Google my name. Oh, yeah. Just tell them plane rides aren't all they're cracked up to be. You're stuck in a tin can at 30,000 feet. But finally, when the Finnish Border Patrol grabbed him and were like, why are you going to Latvia? He was like, just Google me. And they did. And they were like, sorry, sir. And then they let him go to Latvia. But then to get back to the United States, he had to go from Latvia to Germany, back to Heathrow, to Canada, to the United States. And he landed in Germany, and they're like, so, what were you doing in Latvia? And I swear I could hear his frustrated scream all the way across the globe. He was like, ah! I was at a conference! I'm like one of 5 people in the world that can do my job. German borders, yeah. See, I just take his word for it, and I'll take your word for it, because the only land border crossing I ever did was Canada in 1997, and you didn't even need a passport or an ID. You just drove through. But my brother says the Canadians have always been nice to him. He usually, what he does is he flies into Canada and then goes away from Canada, because you can't really fly anywhere directly from Pennsylvania. You either have to go to New York or Chicago or Canada and then fly somewhere else. Right, we have finished another granny square. I wouldn't travel to America right now, but we do have a lot of cool stuff. Like our national parks and even our smaller state parks. You can't beat them. They're so gorgeous. And it's just, we're a really, really, really big country, so there's a lot to see and do. And it helps more to think of the United States more like 50 small countries all forced to get along with one big government. Because I know where I live, Pennsylvania, is very, very different compared to like California. So different. New York is fun. I go to rural New York a lot on weekends during the summer. I've been to New York City a couple times in my life. I'm not really a big city person, but yeah, New York is really cool, but it's so different from Pennsylvania. I mean, well, a lot of places are different from Pennsylvania where I am. Pennsylvania's weird. We've got two big cities and then absolutely nothing. And the two cities hate each other, speak way different forms of English. And we have the Amish here in Pennsylvania. And but I mean, maybe when things calm down here politically, I'd say yeah, definitely travel to the United States. Come see all the cool stuff we've got. Though I definitely don't think you could fit it all in one trip, especially if you want to hit a bunch of different states. Just because outside of New England, they're just way. Outside of New England, it's just huge. Trump, yeah, that's all we're seeing too. Every time my phone beeps with a news alert, I'm like, oh, now what? I know I've got other friends that are around Europe and they're like, are you okay? I'm like, no, we're not. Now I'm trying to think, is there anything good news that's come out of America lately? Yeah, politics, politics. It's never fun. Yeah, it's. Things are certainly interesting here right now. Which university incident? There's been several. Oh, is it the Florida one? Yeah, that was the Florida one. I know there's been a couple different incidents, different kinds of incidents at different universities across the country in the past few weeks. It is. It really is. Oh, goodness. The thing that happened in the UK over the holidays. I don't really check the news that often, so I remember hearing something. I can't remember off the top of my head right now. Oh, that. Yeah, I heard about that in the news. Yeah, that was in the news here. We were sad about that. Yeah, that one. That one, a lot of people were like, oh no, not you guys too. 2025, man. This has been a year. No, nobody deserves that. You're right. Right. Mushroom done. Now let's make it square. Excuse me. Yeah, I'm working on another mushroom. I'm thinking I might, at some point, film a tutorial for this because it's really cute. And I do have a mutual friend who crochets, and she mostly does the plushies, but she was interested in figuring this out. Yeah, I think I'll put a tutorial for this on the list of things to film. I know I do a vlog. I try to get a long form vlog out every other Saturday. I usually film those over the course of a week. But I think maybe a tutorial I could probably film out. Tutorial I could probably film in just an afternoon, especially for something small like this. Thank you. I'm glad you like watching my lives. It's a great way to keep me out of the TikTok doom scrolling and everything. I definitely get sucked into my devices sometimes when I get home from work and I'm like, okay, I need to work on my YouTube stuff. I need to crochet things. But it's been a long day, so TikTok. And then I look up and it's like 7 o'clock. I'm like, ugh, curse you, doom scrolling. Okay, here we go. It's stuck in that loop of like right now my algorithm, it's just entirely Chinese manufacturers, which I love. I think it's hilarious. I have a Facebook just because that was the thing when I was in middle school and high school was everybody had a Facebook account, and so I don't really I mostly film my short form videos for like YouTube. I've been mostly focusing more on YouTube lately, but I initially was trying to gain a following for my crocheting on Instagram. and then slowly branching out just because I can't really figure TikTok out that much. Facebook, yeah. I only really keep my Facebook just to stalk people I went to school with and see what they're up to nowadays. I think of all the social media platforms that I post to, Facebook is the one I just forget exists half the time. You know, I'm primarily focused on YouTube right now. It goes like the hierarchy. It goes like YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Red Note, and then oh yeah, Facebook. I gotta post something there. I know when I initially started out, I was trying to gain a following on Instagram, but it's hard. I had a much easier time. I gained a bit of a following on TikTok, but then the ban was incoming and I started pivoting to YouTube and I started releasing long form videos here on YouTube back in November. And out of all my platforms, I have the most followers on TikTok, but I get the most engagement on YouTube. I'm thinking for right now, lives will be a Saturday night thing. I'm just doing a live tonight on Friday because I have family stuff going on for Easter this weekend. And I don't want to be like, sorry guys, I gotta go live. Even though half the time I would prefer it. But I think I'm gonna stick to Saturdays right now. That'll probably, it might change. There may be some weeks that I go live on other days, like if I'm traveling for craft shows or something. But I think this will just be a Saturday thing. Something to do, maybe Sundays. I'm still getting accustomed to doing live streams in the first place. But I know I watched Crochet Vision's lives a lot. And she said in one of her lives, just start going live and you'll figure it out. And so I've started. All right, well, good night then. I'll probably be live again next week on Saturday. That is the plan so far. That's what I'm thinking in my brain so far. But you have a good night, and I'll hopefully see you next time. Thanks for always coming, and thanks for chatting tonight. I'm probably going to get off soon, probably in about 10 or 20 minutes. Yep, chat to you then. Thank you for chatting. I'm starting to lose my words. Hi, Rocky. Aw, Rocky came to say goodnight. My expensive boy. Take care. All right, that's a second mushroom done. Yep, he's lumbering down, giving a big stretch. Yes, big stretch. He's a big stretchy boy. Let me hydrate real quick. All right. I think I'm going to do 2 flower ones and then head to bed. Anyone else here in the live? Hi, Rocky. See, there is 1 person and 2 likes. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, excuse me, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I assume the 1 person that's watching this is a lurker. Lurk away. It's fine. I lurk half the time anyway, too. Hello, baby boy. How's my expensive boy? My expensive kitty cat. Yes. Aw, my sweet boy. You're a sweet kitty cat. Yes, you are. Sweet Rocky Rocky. Cat just ran up the stairs. All right, let's weave the end in on this. Red. Ooh. Oh my goodness. No viewers, so it's just me talking to myself now. How fun. And that doesn't really change. That's usually every day for me. I'm always talking to myself. Or to you, if you're a viewer in the future watching the VOD. Sounds fun. Okie dokie, there we go. Alright, if I don't get another viewer in like the next 5 minutes by the time this round is done, I'm just gonna jump off. Oh, a viewer. Hello. 2, 3, 4, 5. 4, 5. All right. Four, 5. One, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4, 5. All right, no one else has shown up. Oh, wait, 2 people just showed up. Never mind. Hello. Just crocheting some granny squares. Hope everybody's having a good Friday evening. Just weave in this end here. Okie dokie. That is done. Those ends are woven in. Now to start with the main part of the square. Oh, good. It is just after 9 o'clock. We've been live for about an hour and 20 minutes. Excuse me. Weaving this end. And now I'm going to do the square part of the granny square. 1, 3, 2, 3, Whoa, wait a minute. 3. Okay, 1, 2. Three. Right. I think after I finish this square, I'm going to jump off because I'm getting very tired. So let's power through. Two, 3. All right. Boop, boop, boop. All right. We've got one round left. This square. 1, 2. Okay, here we go. Right round in the corner. Right. Just about done. And done. was the last square of the night. I'm going to jump off now and go to bed because it's after 9 o'clock now and I am tired. So thank you so much for watching the live or the VOD if you are watching the VOD. I think I'm going to be going live every Saturdays. I'm just doing Friday night because I've got stuff for Easter this week, but I think we're going to stick to an every Saturday schedule. So starting next week, I'll be live again on Saturday. I try to post a long form video every other Saturday as well. You can find me on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, here on YouTube, and Rednote as Small Pine Crafts. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, all the other YouTuber things you're supposed to say. And yeah, I'll see y'all next time. Thanks for watching. And now for the every time, how do I turn this thing off? Whoop. I'm struggling. Yes. Good night, everybody.